What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes episode 147. This is the first episode coming off of a loss this season. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it. There's only two of us here. Just Mike and Al today. Liam is stuck in the Keys right now.
What a terrible problem to have, too. Awful.
Know, right?
Stuck in Florida. Give me a break.
Well, let me, as someone who lives in Florida, it is the Keys are different. The Keys are a vacation spot in Florida. So episode 147 of Tuck Rule Takes is just Mike and Al today, tonight, whenever you're listening to this. And,
two Patriots. So actually, like all Patriots fans on this episode, too, by the way, for co-hosts, just to keep in mind, we don't have the fraudulent Eagles fan with us.
Dude, that is crazy. So for people who are just getting into Tuck Rule Takes the last few episodes, let me just kind of set the scene for you. Liam, our third host, is an Eagles fan. Like, let's just call it exactly what it is, which is wild for a Patriots fan to be an Eagles fan as well. But he has probably he sent a picture to us. He has probably 30 NFL jerseys. And I want to say he's got like 7 Eagles jerseys and like 3 Patriots ones. So
that's insane. That's literally insane.
There needs to be some sort of conversation had with him. But
no, intervention is more like it. Like, we need to sit him down with his family, his friends, and be like, why are you an Eagles fan? What started this? And obviously, we're not making fun of people that actually have real issues. Let's just make that clear, please. So that way people aren't jumping down our throats. Like, if you have a real issue, get the help you need and get people to help you, hopefully. But it's ridiculous that he is a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Stupid.
It's crazy that he hosts a Celtics podcast. He hosts a Patriots podcast. And he is a fan of the Eagles as well as other teams too. It's just crazy to me.
I think he's a 76ers fan too.
But of course he is. I don't even know why we have him on. I don't know. We got to talk to him.
Yeah,
we have to talk to him. But we got to talk about the Patriots 23-20 loss in overtime. But before we get into that, I did want to get your thoughts on this, Al. It's not a Patriots topic, it's an NFL topic. Tua suffered his third documented concussion in the last 3 seasons, right? Or whatever it is.
Yeah, something like that.
It came out today as we record this. It is Sunday, September 15th, that he does not plan to retire, but he plans to kind of see the doctors, all that fun stuff and everything. What are your thoughts on all this with just the entire situation? I don't care we don't have to spend too long on this, 5 minutes max or whatever, but just like the Tua thing. Because my thoughts just overall, at some point, you got to look at the health of, and I hate when hosts say this, but the health of the player. You got to look at the health of Tua. I know that he wants to play. Of course he does. He's a football player. They're all maniacs by trade. They all want to play no matter what. You have to. Now, again, the doctors might come back and say, oh, well, everything's fine, which I doubt they're going to say. You have to take the decision out of his hands. You need to shut him down. If not forever, at least for this year, because you are looking at, like I said, 3 documented ones in the last few seasons, not even ones that he may have gotten where we didn't know about. And there's only so much that the sport can do, the league can do. Comes to the point where Tua, you can't be running the ball, diving headfirst into people. I think Tua, personally, I think he has to shut it down. But what are your thoughts on the Tua situation before we talk about the Patriots loss today?
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said you have to consider the health of the person as opposed to the health of the football player. Because this isn't his first concussion. This has happened multiple times now. And I'm trying to find the tweet. And I know I saw something earlier, but basically it was, if the Dolphins force him to retire, then something happens with like the contract, but like if he does it willingly, I think they don't have to pay him or something like that. I forget exactly.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find it. I can't find it right now, but
Yeah, I saw that same type of tweet. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, with the way the NFL is nowadays, especially with head injury, CTE, brain damage, like all that stuff. And I'm trying to take my Patriots fandom out of it because this is a
Mhm.
Dolphins player we're talking about. I think from the real world, like human element of it, why not take the guaranteed money that you have? You're 25, 26 years old. You can be set for life. You have over $120 million guaranteed.
Yep.
So why are you going to continue? Like, I give him credit. Like, he wants to come back and play. You can't call him soft, Mike. You can't. Like, to want to come back and play, great. But if you are really willing to put your life, literally your life on the line at this point, I don't see the benefit of it. I think it's just better for Tua to say, you know what? I wanted Alabama. I was a top 5 NFL pick, won some great games, played with some really good teammates, got a bag for a contract. Like I've
Mhm.
already won. Like even like Luke Kuechly, Andrew Luck, they got out early.
Andrew Luck. That's what I was gonna say. Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it's the best. It was the best decision they could have made. Aaron Donald, like he didn't have the concussions, but his body was wearing down. He knew when it was time. I think for Tua, I think this is the time where, put it this way, if he wants to come back this final time, fine. But if he gets another one, like his family, his friends better strap him to a chair, like hold him down and be like, "You're not leaving until you decide to end this. This is ridiculous." So yeah, I don't know. It's sad. It's a sad situation from a human
Yeah.
being standpoint.
Yeah, and again, like you said, taking the Patriots fandom out of it, because if you're going to talk about it as a Patriots fan, you're like, fuck yeah, like he's probably
Exactly.
not going to be available when the Pats play him in week 5, I believe that is.
Yeah.
But either way, like you got to look at it, and I was going to bring up Andrew Luck. You brought him up, where like Andrew Luck, highly touted, probably what like the most highly touted rookie coming out since Peyton Manning. That's what everybody was kind of saying there, and
Hmm.
he gave it up, a few years in or whatever. I think it sucks. And I know that Mike McDaniels was like, I'm not going to bring up retirement. That's not something, I wish we would just think about this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like I, I get it where it's like, okay, he's still healthy or like he can still play. Cause I'm sure the doctors will say like, of course you can still play. But if you get another concussion, you don't know how bad concussions are. Like you don't know how bad of a concussion you're going to get. Like
Right.
you might just get your brain scrambled a little bit, or you might
Hmm.
do one of the things where, which is what Tua's been getting, where you have the hands, the quadriplegic hands, where you're like
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? And
I
it's something that
do.
we
I do.
like what, and that's what you saw on this play. He's rushing for a first down, he gets it, dives head first into Damar Hamlin of all people, and when Tua goes down, his hand scrunches up in a little ball, and then it like kind of straightens out, and you're like, yeah, he's gone.
And
Like,
that's the telltale sign that people say for a concussion is
yes,
when that happens. It's
yes, the dude has to, like, he has to sit down. And again, it's obviously up to him, and whatever he chooses to do is what he chooses to do. But I will say this: if he chooses to play again and he gets another concussion, I will not feel any remorse for him. This is to me like, say when you're with a significant other and that significant other cheats on you once. Okay, you know what? We're gonna stick it through, whatever it is, what it is. That significant other cheats on you again. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give you one more time. If it happens again, we're breaking up. They cheat on you again. If you
Mhm.
stay with them again, listen, man, it's on you. I don't have any more remorse for you if this happens again. You've seen it happen. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Tua, no matter what happened, he has not adjusted his play based on his concussion history. Why are you
Right.
running and diving? Slide. It's not difficult. Baseball slide. It's not drop to a knee, slide down. You had the first down. Like I just, and the scary part is it wasn't even a big hit, Al. He
Right.
just dove into Damar Hamlin and how his head hit and contorted whatever and hit the
And
ground.
it
Like,
wasn't right, and it wasn't even like head to head. He dove into Hamlin's chest.
yes.
Like that was weird. It was weird. It was a weird play. It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, it was weird. And that, I think that should tell you, like, on plays like that, like, shit, we saw how many players so far today, and we're not even done the second slate of games. How many players today have we seen get hit like that? And there's no concussions, but yet Tua gets hit like that and concussion. Like,
I know.
dude, the NFL, if they care about player safety, they're going to sit him down for at least half the year. No, they should sit him down the whole year. Like, if we're being honest,
I don't know if they're going to do half a year. I would say at least a month. I think a
they should,
month is.
dude, they got to do something. How
They
do you
do. No,
judge
they
it?
do. I know.
I don't know. They have to do something, but if I could talk as a Patriots fan for a second, I hope they at least sits down for like 3 or 4 weeks. That'd be
Oh, of
nice.
course. Well,
Just to
looking, no, right. You don't want him in there because he's beaten the Patriots literally every single time you start against them.
yeah.
But
And he's good when he plays. He's good. He's
he
decent.
is. But looking at their schedule, so they play at Seattle in week 3. He's not going to be back for that. There's no chance. I don't
No,
think
no,
there's
no, no.
any chance. Then they play a Monday night game at home against Tennessee. So they're going to be coming into New England on a short week. So that's even like that I think is a little bit more significant too. Like if I'm being truthful here, if I'm Miami and I'm like, okay, we're 1-1 right now. We got the Seahawks, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Colts, the Cardinals through October.
Mhm.
We can beat the Cardinals, we can beat the Colts, we can beat the Titans without Tua as long as we, don't turn the ball over. If I'm Miami, I say, you know what? Our goal should be the November 3rd game in Buffalo. That's our goal to get him back 100%, no questions asked. And you play for those, 5 games without him because you want him back at full health. If you're a Dolphins fan, if you're Miami, you want him fully healthy. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They're probably going to rush him back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be brutally honest here, Mike. He's probably going to be back for the New England game. And there's probably going to be a hit by Keon White, and he's probably going to go down again. We're going to go through this whole rigmarole again.
Yep. And that's not even hyperbole by you, because Keon White
It's
is a
not.
menace. This Patriots front line is very good. If he comes into that game, like, there's not like the Dolphins offensive line is great, because they're
Right.
really not. They're fine. It is what it is. They're just another kind of doable line in the league. Like,
Mhm.
if he comes in and he gets knocked out again, like,
I
the
know.
NFL can keep playing that game. And I know that they don't want to take their star players out. I get it. I understand. But, like, I know it's a business, all that stuff, but I don't know if he comes back for that Patriots game. He's going to get sacked or get pressure throughout that entire game. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess he's meeting with the doctor this week. The NFL said they're going to monitor everything this week. Whatever happens, happens. I will say he better not play this weekend. If he plays this weekend, the NFL is a joke when it comes to their
Yep.
player safety. Honestly, they should force him to the IR for 4 weeks, just like Christian McCaffrey is right now. That's what
Right.
they should do. They should say, listen, take 4 weeks. We'll reevaluate after. We can't force you to, retire or whatever. But I mean, if it's in Tua's hands, he's not going to retire, obviously. So I think,
No.
I don't know, by the end of this year, we might be talking, it might be a very sad story with Tua. And I'm not talking about death or anything like that, but I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
no. But
it might be a very sad story with Tua. He might be one of those guys where it's like RG3-esque, where it's like injuries just ruined his year, except this is concussion, which is a little bit more
right.
intense. But
Right,
yeah,
right,
that's all. Do you have anything else you want to get to before we talk about this game?
right. Maybe before it's Patriots related. How about Chooks Okorafor, huh?
Yeah, so he is on whatever it is. I forget
The
what it's called.
exempt list, the
The
left
exempt
list.
slash left list. So what happened is I guess he told the team he was leaving.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of, I feel like if it was and by the way, Okorafor, left tackle for the Patriots, in
Mhm.
case you haven't been watching, although he did against the Bengals, he only played 12 snaps. He got taken out for Vidarian Lowe. But who
When you're getting benched for Vidarian Lowe, that says everything you need to know.
Yeah, Lowe was fine. That we'll talk about that game
We'll get
after.
into it.
But yeah, Okorafor, yeah, no one knows exactly why he left. But yeah, your starting left tackle for week 1 is now, he may not play another snap again for the Patriots. Listen, the Patriots offensive line week 1 was fine. Week 2, a little bit more of a struggle. I don't know if it was all left tackle or not. Left tackle, we said going into this year, going into the season, seeing all the moves they did, that this was going to be an issue anyways. Depending on the health of Vidarian Lowe moving forward, because for this game right now against the Seahawks, he did go into the blue tent. He didn't finish the game. Who knows what's going on with him? But yeah, Okorafor kind of leaving the team. If he did that because he was benched, this is similar to what he did in Pittsburgh, or like it was a similar kind of thing over there. This might be this dude's MO, is that if he gets benched or if he doesn't like something, he just wants to leave. I don't really know how I feel about it. I know it's not a good like podcast take, but I don't know. Like, do you feel like, how much more comfortable do you feel with him at left tackle than Lowe? I know we're talking about depth too. I don't know. Yeah. What's your take on this?
It was it was a weird signing in the first place. And apparently there were also rumors too, like he doesn't know if he wants to play football anymore. So hopefully it's not like a serious issue, and hopefully like everything's okay in his personal life. But if it's just a football decision, again, I was confused as to why the Patriots even signed him in the first place. It's a 1-year deal, a $4 million base with his contract. So he was going to be here for a year anyway. So that clearly indicates the Patriots want to spend in the offseason, or they want to make a trade for a left tackle. And, you know, God forbid, Mike, if they have a bad year, which I don't think they're going to have as bad of a year as people say they're going to, but say they do, you have Kelvin Banks and Will Campbell just waiting there for you potentially. So it's like, I guess they wanted to use him as a bridge tackle, which is okay, I guess. But he was also, they also like, wasn't he a right tackle in Pittsburgh too? So like,
correct.
It would have made more sense to put on one at left tackle and then put Okorafor at right tackle. It goes to show too, that was one swing and a miss by Elliott Wolf. That's a clear swing and a miss. But I hope truthfully, Vidarian Lowe is not the long term. So even the short term, even this year, the full year solution at left tackle, because it's going to come back to bite you in the ass more often than not. Just wait. Just wait.
Yeah, you know, Vidarian Lowe was serviceable today. Caden Wallace came in a little bit. He was fine. Like, left tackle is still, it is what it is. But yeah, Okorafor, he was a right tackle in Pittsburgh. You bring him over here, you want to switch him to left tackle. Fine. Yeah, I think that we can look, you know, I think you and I, and a lot of Patriots fans, but you and I think that Elliott Wolf has had a really good offseason going into this year. But obviously the left tackle thing, they may have banked on drafting someone, didn't work out. Okorafor didn't, whatever their plans were. I don't think that this was the outcome they wanted. I think this was one that they're fine with. Like, it was like a plan B. You know what I mean? Whatever their plan A was didn't work out. But I do think that they're drafting a left tackle in the first round next year, either way. So I don't think you're going to see Vidarian Lowe, or Vidarian Lowe might be on the team as like a backup, but I don't think you're going to see Okorafor next year. Like you said, he signed a 1-year, $4 million deal. Like,
next year, you might not even see him the rest of this year.
No, you might not. And, you know, the Patriots did sign 2 other tackles. So I don't know. If you let him go, it is what it is. Assuming Vidarian Lowe can start, he's been fine. He's been better than he was last year, at least, which is all you can ask for, I guess.
Yeah.
And just, you know, plug him in, get cohesiveness with the line, and go from there. But yeah, it's definitely something to watch this week, just to see kind of, it's twofold with what happens with Okorafor, then also what happens with the health of Vidarian Lowe, because I think they're both going to kind of feed into each other there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I don't think we have any more Patriot stuff to talk about.
No, let's talk about this game, because we got a lot to talk about here.
So Patriots lose first game of the year. They're 1-1. They lost to the Seahawks 23-20 in overtime. Overall thoughts before we dive into whatever you want to dive into first, Al, but I'll just give kind of my general consensus of this game. It was a winnable game, but it was a game that exposed the Patriots' weaknesses on offense. And I think the defense just had kind of an iffy game, you know, like, I don't think, you know, I think I had the Patriots winning 12 games this year, 12-5. This doesn't necessarily waver that at all. Maybe you knock a game off. Maybe it'll be 11-6. But teams have bad games. I think Liam and I said it long before you became a co-host on this with us, where you won't see the days of your stonewall defenses are gone. You're not going to see that anymore. Defenses that give up 9 points a game, every game they look elite, great. You're just not going to see
it's not like going to be like the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears or anything like that. Right.
No, you won't see that. So I think the Patriots defense, I'm not worried about them. Sure, they might have missed some tackles, coverage breakdown on DK Metcalf in the first, like, okay, didn't happen at all the rest of the game. Like no coverage breakdowns like that. Like you didn't have any wide open receivers like that. It is what it is, kind of a shitty game on defense. But I think this game just exposed the ceiling that the offense has. Sucks. You're 1-1, but shit, Ravens are 0-2. Like there's, I know I'm not, it's not like I'm trying to say that we're battling with the Ravens, but it's just, could be worse. 1-1 going into a short week against the Jets could be worse. Al, what are your thoughts on the game? And then where do you kind of want to jump off with the game?
Thoughts on this game? I agree with you about it being winnable. And I think that's why it hurts more that they lost this game, because even with everything that was happening, even with everyone in the media being like the Patriots will probably start 1-3, this was the game that a lot of people circled and said this game they should win. And granted, they were up 20-17 with 4 or 5 minutes left in the football game. That's the horrible part. I think this game you also saw that the Bengals game was an anomaly in a sense that the Patriots did everything right. They tackled, made all the tackles. Every play was made. They did everything right. For the most part in Seattle, they did a lot of things right, but they didn't do everything right. They had a couple bad penalties, a couple bad pass interference calls. And by the way, I know we're going to talk about this, but the Jonathan Jones defensive pass interference, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, Mike, but Mark Daniels of the Providence Journal said that even Tyler Lockett told Jonathan Jones it wasn't a defensive pass interference. So he's wondering what was going on. So that's, again, another Patriots referee battle. And even in the first quarter, the Marco Wilson pass interference in the end zone, that ball was uncatchable. So why are you calling?
Have you noticed they don't do the uncatchable thing anymore?
They
very rarely do they do that. Like, dude, if the ball is 3 feet out of bounds, I don't care if I tackled you in the end zone, Al. You weren't catching this ball. Yeah, but they don't call that anymore, which is crazy.
And what else is crazy, too, is you shut down the running game. I mean, that was going to be expected, though, right? Kenneth Walker doesn't play. You expected it. I mean, Zach Charbonnet, 14 carries, 38 yards, 2.7 yards per carry. Nothing crazy. But here's where you got beat away from your mistakes. Geno Smith, 33 of 44, 327 yards, no picks. That's a 75% completion rating. That can't happen. Oh, and by the way, Mike, DK Metcalf, 10 receptions, 129 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, granted, a lot of them were on the 54-yard touchdown reception, but still, and by the way, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 12 receptions, 117 yards. So right there, you're giving up 22 receptions. You gave up 282 receiver yards. Your own receivers had 19 receiving yards all game. Your own wide receivers. And the last thing I'm going to save that for a little bit, but just to kind of wrap up this monologue, if you will, you saw things that they did that resulted in why they lost and why they didn't deserve to win the game, but they had the game in hand with 4 minutes left. And then a couple things, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, but I have a lot of thoughts about that, Mike. So come back to me on that. But just, you should have won this game. And the fact that you didn't, now you got the Jets, the 49ers, the Dolphins, and the Texans all coming up. And that's a tough stretch for anybody.
Yeah. We'll, at the end of the podcast, we'll get into the upcoming stretch. I will still optimistic, man. McCaffrey being out, Jets on a short week. Texans, they could easily lose. They could easily beat the Texans. So we'll get into that. But I think my main thing, we'll talk about the offense first, because we'll definitely get into, the field goal, the blocked field goal, how like maybe you win this game if that field goal gets kicked. But can you explain to me, Al, how Pop Douglas has 0 catches for 0 yards? Now, Gerard Mayo said post game, that's on him. They got a scheme plays for him, all that stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. This whole off season, we were talking about, sure, you drafted the rookies. Rookies are talented. Awesome. Hunter Henry, great tight end, 8 catches for a $109. I had him on my bench in fantasy. That's on me. But he's very good tight end. And we knew that coming in. Hunter Henry, top 5 tight end in the league. Fine. How do you not get Pop Douglas, who we've seen? You can't cover him in a phone booth. One-on-one, he cannot be covered. How does he have 0 catches? In a team, and Al, you said it before the game when we were all texting. The screen game could have been very important in this game. Mm-hmm. How do you not throw? Like, I never thought that I'd be craving a Josh McDaniels offense, but he would at least throw some wide receiver screens here and there. Mm-hmm. How does Pop Douglas not get involved in the offense more? Because I think that, like, who knows if they win, lose, whatever, you only lost by 3 points. So, like, you don't know what could have won you or lost you the game, but you have to think that one of your most talented offensive players not touching the ball, kind of important, right? Like, how does he not get passes? Like, I don't get that.
It's very important. And not only that, I think defenses are scheming to obviously try to stop the run, because the Patriots are going to be run first. But they probably are going through all these defensive coordinators and like, okay, who's the one guy from last year that had any sort of relevant year for the Patriots? Okay, it was Pop Douglas. Mm-hmm. So Pop Douglas might be getting the number 1 corners. He might be getting number 1, D-backs. He might be getting those tough matchups, which I understand.
Sure.
But again, you're going into this Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson type of offense, and then Hunter Henry's getting a lot of receptions. Okay, fine. But then toward the end of the game, the Seahawks were smart, and they were like, Jacoby Brissett's keying in on Hunter Henry. So if we can keep Hunter Henry, disrupt his routes, he's not going to find anybody, and this line's not going to hold up. So to answer your question, I don't know what's going on with Pop Douglas. I don't know why Gerard Mayo and Alex Van Pelt aren't smart enough to realize it's been 2 games and he's gotten, 2 receptions. Unacceptable. And by the way, the Jets, Mike, one thing that we can say about the Jets that you've said this before and I have, so we're going to agree on this. Their run defense is pretty good. Their running defense as a whole is pretty good up front. They got
but I know
Mosley's out.
They lost 2 linebackers.
Yeah,
2 starting linebackers.
Right. But here's the thing. Those defensive tackles, those big guys up front, that's going to be a challenge on Thursday night. And again, we'll talk about that when we preview the Jets game. But you can't keep relying on this to win you games. And also notice, too, the offense started out really well in the first half, petered out in the second half. You can't keep expecting this. So that's where I'm at with Pop Douglas. He better have a big game on Thursday night. That's all I got to say. He better have like 7 receptions for 70 yards.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Like that, because like the running backs, Antonio Gibson, 11 for 96, Stevenson, 21 for 81. Great. The Patriots have an elite running game. Love it. Awesome. Whether it's the offensive line blocks for the run game, and when they don't, the running backs are good enough to make you miss. Awesome. Cool. Great. Awesome tight end. We need the guy at receiver, which again, this goes into where like watching this team, it's frustrating, but also if you can take a step back, it's exciting because they're right there.
Right.
They're right there. They have the quarterback, as far as we all know. They have the quarterback. They need maybe an option, maybe a star option on offense, but if they could shore up the line with a left tackle, they're going to be fine. So like long-term, we're definitely talking about just the 2024 Patriots, because moving forward, I think the next few years, the Pats are going to be a perennial playoff team, hands down. Like I'm ready to go with that. But just with this year, it's just tough. Like you saw the offense kind of fumble a little bit where like when they're not running the ball, and like on that 3rd down towards the end of the game, 3rd and 1, when they got the penalty with whoever lined up on the offensive line and didn't say they were eligible or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was Caden
Wallace, right?
Wallace, yeah.
Dude, why are you getting cute? Line up, I formation. You need 1 yard. Run the fucking ball. You have Ramondre Stevenson. Put Hunter Henry in at tight end. Put fucking Caden Wallace in at tight end. I mean, at fullback, run the ball. So like, I did think they got a little bit too cute there. But like, there's definitely some positives to take away, and we'll talk about that. But just my negatives come from, I mean, like the defense, you needed a stop here and there. Couldn't get it when it counted. Again, I don't think this is an issue that's going to happen further on down the year. Like, we're in week 2. I do think the defense is going to be fine. You said DK Metcalf went off. He's a great receiver. Patriots shut down Jamar Chase earlier. So, okay, whatever. It is what it is. We'll see what happens down the line. If this is a problem or just an anomaly, we don't know. But yeah, the offense though, I think when do we start the debate where Drake May is in this game? Can he push the ball down the field more? Because I saw people saying that, and Jacoby Brissett can throw the ball. Don't get me wrong, but can he push the ball down the field? Like, I don't know. I don't have the all 22 to watch. I don't know who was open downfield, maybe, or whatever it was. I know Brissett was getting pressured a lot this game. But I think it's just different styles of quarterback play, different talent at quarterback. Like, do you think if Drake May is in this game, the Patriots, do you think that sways it win or loss here if Drake May is playing?
I don't, not in this game, because this game, I put it a little bit more on the defense in this game, and we'll talk about that. But I think the offense, like, I think pushing the ball downfield, which Gerard Mayo said in his press conference after the game, we have to work on pushing the ball more downfield. But I don't think Drake May is going to necessarily do that right now for you. I think within time, he'll drive the ball downfield. Of course, we'll see a lot of downfield throws. Drake May has the arm accuracy and the arm strength to do that. But with Jacoby Brissett, we know what he is. It's going to be a lot of short to intermediate stuff with maybe once in a while, like a 20, 25 yarder down the field, but that doesn't happen very often. This is what they're going to be on offense. And again, it's not sustainable long-term to win these games. You can be competitive. Like, you squeaked out the Cincinnati game. You lost today against Seattle. Against the Jets, who knows? They might find a way to screw it up. But against like a 49ers team, Mike, that's a smart football team and a good football team, it's not sustainable. It's not.
See, but against and I'll look forward a couple weeks against the Niners, though. You don't think they can put pressure on Brock Purdy, force him into some things? I know that the Niners have Debo, they have Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, my favorite player in the league, who's not on the Patriots. But like, I don't know. I think we'll talk about that game as we get there. I don't think that Niners game is as losable or as like definitely a loss as everyone is saying. For the Patriots, we're gonna talk about the field goal in a second, because I think that that's the frustrating part, is even with everything we're saying about this team, the defense gave up some big plays when they shouldn't have. Defensive breakdowns, like I said, that DK Metcalf play in the first half. If that doesn't happen, you don't know what happens with this game, because that was very clearly, Duggar even said he checked out of a certain play. He made a mistake, whatever it was. If you don't give up that wide open touchdown, maybe the Seahawks only score a field goal on that drive. You don't know, because the Patriots defense was playing fine at that point, obviously, before that, and even a little bit after it. But with the offense, you're seeing the ceiling. Like, they can be in position to win these games, but if it comes down to a 2-minute drive where you need a top 10 quarterback type drive, the Patriots cannot do it unless they break a good run here and there.
Exactly.
Which is frustrating.
Part of the problem.
Yeah, which is the issue. And it's not even, and I don't even want to say it's a huge negative to the team, because we knew that going into this year. We knew Jacoby Brissett had a ceiling. We knew the offense had a ceiling. You just assumed that these close games, like, because let's be honest, if the Patriots kick that field goal and the field goal doesn't get blocked, they probably win this game.
They do. You're right.
Because then the Seahawks have to go down and score. And I have faith in the Patriots defense to do the old Matt Patricia, bend but don't break. But they can't. They go down, they give up a field goal, they go to overtime, and they lose, obviously, in overtime. So, like, that's the frustrating part. This game, like you said to start it, that's why this is so frustrating. The game was right there, which is both a pro and a con, because you're like, fuck, they lost. Oh my God, they're 1-1. But the game was right there. The Patriots did not play a great game, but they still could have beat this team. So
they
it's
should have.
like,
They probably should have.
and they probably should have. And you'd be 2-0 going into a division game against the Jets. You beat them. You have the tiebreaker, maybe depending on what happens later on. But either way, you're still above the Jets in the standings. Who knows? Yeah, it's just, I mean, even if you beat the Jets next week, you'll be ahead of them in the standings because of the tiebreaker. So whatever. But it's just, God damn it. That's the frustrating part about this game, where it's just the Patriots, they had it there. Yeah, the offense, I don't know. I know that, Drake May is getting 30% of the starter reps in practice. Awesome. That's great. I don't know. Maybe if he's in the game, maybe he pushes it a little bit more. Maybe he does some things, but then again, maybe he doesn't handle the pressure as much. So I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't, the what if game is a very dangerous game to play, but the Patriots did lose. It's just, you saw the ceiling with the offense, but let's talk about the defense.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you, what's the big thing that you were disappointed in with the defense today? Because I know what it was for me, but I want to see what you're thinking.
Yeah. For me, it was just, I don't know, like, it just seemed like they're, I don't want to say initially, I want to say pressure. You know what I'm going to say? I think you just gave up too many big plays, man. Like, that's really it. Like, I know we're going to talk about the defensive pass interference, which was kind of bullshit on both counts, but it is what it is. Refs are going to make bad calls. We know that. But like, even though that Jonathan Jones one, dude, is so frustrating because like that what fuck. But yeah, it's just, you get like, sure, Metcalf is going to get his yards, but how can Jackson Smith get his yards? How can Tyler Lockett get his yards? Like, come on, guys. Like, you're supposed to be a top 5 defense. I know you're not, like I said to start, I know you're not going to shut an offense down all game, but when it counts, that's when the defenses should show up. So I'm just kind of upset that they didn't stop them. That's all. Like, it doesn't matter. I think I know what your thing is going to be, but for me, it's just overall general looking down. I just wish you stopped them. I don't care how you did it. Just, I wish it was a little bit better. But what's your negative with the defense?
Well, I want to hear, because you said you think so tell me, what am I thinking?
Tackling. Is it tackling? Is it they could have made tackles?
Not exactly, but third down efficiency. The Seahawks on third downs were 7 for 15 converting on third downs. And by the way, some of those ones they didn't convert, Mike. Like, I remember there was one specifically, it was 3rd and 15. They completed a pass for 14 yards and got to 4th and 1.
Come on.
Like, it's stuff like that, right? It's stuff like that where you can't allow that to happen. And you can't let these offensives get into a rhythm. And
that goes with mine when I said that they get stops. That's kind of my thing too. Yeah, like, come on.
Right. And another thing too, it's the fact that it's just the fact that you couldn't stop Geno Smith. Number one, like Geno, I give him credit. He played a good game. He did 75% completion percentage again, over 300 yards. Like, he did his job today. But it was also too, what was kind of funny to me, and this was just a whole game thing, not necessarily a defensive thing. You had 3 penalties all game, and 2 of them were in 2 big moments: the Jonathan Jones DPI and the Marco Wilson DPI. Yeah, sorry, I thought of the college here in Massachusetts.
The Jonathan Jones one, such a bullshit, dude.
Oh, it was terrible.
Such bullshit.
Terrible. He looked for the ball. He was playing the ball.
Yep.
But whatever. It is what it is.
Exactly.
Yep. But not only that, too, what was the strategy last week with the Patriots with the Bengals? You give them everything underneath. Don't give them the big play. And also, they were doing that in the first half. That's what Geno Smith did. Just dinking and dunking, easy, like 6 to 8 yard passes.
Yep.
And then they didn't make adjustments in the second half. You notice it in just kind of a general sense, Mike, when the Patriots were hurried up on, that's where the Seahawks were most effective.
Yeah.
That's a problem. You have to be able to make adjustments on the fly. And I hope DeMarcus Covington and the defense take the next 3 days to really study that, because against the Jets, you're really going to need to, especially with Aaron Rodgers that knows how to read defense as well. You're going to have to make sure you're on your A game, whether it's, a slow pace or you're getting hurried up. You have to be able to do both.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think that, like, honestly, I think the short week helps the Patriots because Jets aren't going to be able to install a whole full offense. I think it's going to be kind of, we all know the Thursday games are kind of a crapshoot because you have a shortened week, whatever. But I also think that the short week is going to help the Patriots for week 4 against the Niners because they're going to have more time. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, it just, it was frustrating. It was just very frustrating to see the big plays. And I keep going back to that DK Metcalf touchdown in the first half where it's like, if that breakdown doesn't happen, what happens, man? Because, like I can't see, because once that happens, that's a tie game again. Then you can't really run your ground and pound offense as much because then you might be trying to pass more. And it's just like, what if you hold the Seahawks to nothing there?
I know.
And then you go down. So like, that's why I'm looking at this game where it's like, it sucks because of how everybody played and the outcome, obviously. But it's like, God, there's a couple key plays there, a couple key flags where if the flag doesn't get called or if that breakdown in coverage doesn't happen, like who knows what happens. And the big thing, we'll talk about it, that field goal, man, if you're up 23-17,
everything's different. The way that
because the deep everything, because now the Keon White can pin his ears back and go at the guys. Like you can blitz here and there. Like you can give up some big plays because even if you let the team get into field goal range, okay, you got to score a touchdown. Like it,
right?
God, it's rough. It's rough, and I believe that field goal. I know people were talking because I believe before that was when Jacoby Brissett got sacked, right? And then the field goal happened afterwards, right?
I personally have an issue with that. I got a little bit of an issue with that.
Okay. So we'll talk about it. So my thought on that, I don't think it impacts the fact that the kick was blocked or not, because I don't think that where you are on the field dictates how you block on a field goal, because it's still the same thing. You know what I mean? But that's my thought. Bad sack. Don't get me wrong. Which again, that's where I'm thinking, does Drake May try to spin out because he's more he's more apt to run more? So does he scramble out and do whatever? But what's your thought on that? Because what it was third down.
It was 3rd and 6.
Jacoby Brissett gets sacked, and then Joey Sly goes to kick. Field goal gets blocked. Seahawks go down, obviously, and tie it up. But what's your thought on that whole thing?
So my thought process is you're draining the clock. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. You're getting first downs. Earlier in the drive, you get that big 45-yard gain from Antonio Gibson. You're in field goal range. Great.
Yo, I thought the game was over. Just so you know, game was over. I was like, that's it. We won.
So if you run the ball right there, even if you get stopped at the line of scrimmage, the field goal ended up being what, 48 yards? It was a 48-yard attempt, right?
I'll tell you in a second, but
pretty sure that's what it was. If you get stopped, or even if you get a yard gain or 2-yard gain, that 40-yard field goal, Mike, 40 as opposed to 48, that's a big difference. That's almost a 10-yard difference. That's a big difference. And with kickers, the way Joey Sly was probably thinking, all right, I got to put this on a line to try to make sure that it gets there. Meanwhile, if he's closer, he can get under it a little bit more and still knock it through the uprights. Now, granted, he should have made a 48-yard field goal. Like, whatever. But still, if you're closer, I think in a kicker's mind, it just changes the angle of the kick. It changes how he wants to attack the ball, how he wants to get under the ball more. That's where I'm like, and you know what? Also, that would have taken more time off the clock, too. I know Jacoby got sacked.
True.
I know the clock was still running, but still, you run it down and then you kick the field goal and it's 23-17. Then you kick off to Seattle. So maybe you pin them down inside the 20. So again, it changes everything. That's what it is. It changes everything. Because then they get the ball at the 30. They only got to go about 40 yards just to get in field goal range. Sure enough, they drain the clock down to 55 seconds, boot a field goal. Patriots had one timeout. And it's like, all right, and they dared the Patriots. All right, Jacoby Brissett, go down the field, 55 seconds, one timeout, go get a field goal and beat us.
Well, dude, that wouldn't even be that wouldn't even be the case, because if they kicked the field goal, it's 23-17.
Right, exactly.
Seahawks couldn't even go down. They would have had to score.
Right, and because it didn't happen, then you had everything else.
Damn.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So like, I know, like, because I know you're big into like, well, this didn't happen and all that, but I'm like, but here's the thing, it does change everything, unfortunately. It changes the way you coach. It changes the way you attack. It changes the way that you call plays. It changes the way the players react. It changes everything. And it did. And I knew I had just a sinking feeling in my stomach that said, once that field goal was blocked, I said, unless they get a turnover, Seattle's going to tie this game. And then, do we want to move to overtime, or did you want to cover anything else in regulation?
My only thing, since I feel like we've been a little bit doom and gloom, do you want to get on? Do you want to get on arguably the most bright spot or the biggest bright spot on this entire team, real quick?
Are you going to say Bryce Behringer?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. But buddy,
okay.
Can we just say Bryce Behringer's going to the Pro Bowl?
He probably is.
Tremendous.
He probably is. You're probably
there's also another player that's probably going to go to the Pro Bowl too. I know that it was a big thing. The Patriots got rid of Matthew Judon. Oh no, what's going to happen? The Patriots front line shambles, right? Shambles. You got Dietrich Wise. Yeah, he's great, but he's only good because Judon's there. Uche, only good because Judon's there.
Right.
How many sacks does Judon have this year, Al? You told me, I believe. How many does he have?
He has a half a sack, and Keon White has 4 total sacks.
And Keon White he has 4.5.
No, I checked it. It was just 4. He only had a sack and a half in this game.
No, but I thought he had 2.5 last game, though.
He did, but 2.5 plus 1.5 is 4. He didn't have 2 full sacks. He had a sack and a half. I'll check it real quick.
Yeah, no. You're right. I just checked. So either way, 4.
He has 3.5 more sacks than Matthew Judon.
Keon White, ladies and gentlemen, this is his coming out year. I think
I said it. Him now.
They can't. They have to wait. They can't sign him yet. I think Pat's Cap on Twitter said that you can't sign a rookie this early into his contract. You have to wait again. Or you have to wait. I think it's either in his third year is when you can sign him or whatever. You can't sign him this quick. Either way, I do not care what the money is. You sign Keon White. And judging by how Gerard Mayo, Elliot Wolf have handled Patriots players, I do think he's going to get signed. But we need to just talk about Keon White. He has 4 sacks on the year. I believe that's leading the league, if I remember correctly. I don't think anyone else, because I know that he was second in the league or tied second going into this week. I believe he's first right now. We'll check at the end of the year. We'll check going into the next week, the Jets game after that, to see where he is. Keon White is a menace. I look at this team and I look at how good they'd be if Christian Barmore was alive. You know what I mean? If he was around. I know he's dealing with blood clots. You'll get back. You're going to be on this team in the future. Great. I can't wait to see you and Keon White. But God, Keon White was a menace today, man. A menace. He needs to be. Dietrich Wise, too, played great. Kyle Duggar had a sack. Like, this front line, this defense is good. They had some breakdowns. We're criticizing them, but I think overall they're good. Keon White, though, I got to look back to see when we did our superlatives and everything where people put Keon White. I think he's got to be defensive player of the year. Like, so far, like, let's put him in the running. Let's go. At least get him some votes. Keon White, the guy, 4 sacks. Sing the praises of Keon White, Al, please, before we talk about overtime.
Again, and I know you're going to love this because I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. Imagine how much better he's going to be when Christian Barmore's back in there.
Dude.
Telling you, it's gonna be crazy.
You can't double team both of them. You can't double team both of them.
It's the fact that Keon White can get in with such ease.
That's no gloves. He doesn't wear gloves.
He's a menace. He's a freak, and in the best of ways. And if anything, I think he's gonna have a field day with the Jets offensive line. And I think we're gonna see at least one Keon White sack on Aaron Rodgers. I really do.
I'm going to right off rip.
I hope he gets 2.
Yep. Dude, I can't, because Aaron Rodgers is going to want to roll out. He's going to want to extend plays. Keon White isn't with that fuck shit. Keon White is going to be like, nah, man, we're done. He said, Keon White, by the way, in the post game, he said that, the offense did what they needed to do for us to win. Defense didn't do enough. Love that he's already kind of speaking like a leader. I really like that. But yeah, I think he is going to be. So what, he's got 4 so far. I know he's not going to keep up this pace. If he does, that's fucking crazy. But yeah, I think that can you imagine? Yeah, who was it? DeMarcus Ware? Does he have the record right now? So. I think. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome to see him even get. I mean, just get double digit. I mean, that'd be cool just to see him get double digit sacks. Yeah.
I think so.
But yeah.
Did you see? Did you see what Devon Godchaux said about that same comment? He didn't agree with Keon White.
No. What do you say? I might have missed it. What did he say?
He basically was like, I think that the offense should have, kind of ended the game in that situation. When we go back to the film, we'll kind of grade it and kind of see it that way. So Devon Godchaux, not happy, which I can understand.
which is fine. And I don't even think that's a bad thing to say, because I think the
It's
offense
not.
would say that they kind of let it down a little bit. Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't think this is a tight knit team. It's not something where it's going to be, where like it's going to be defense against offense. You know what I mean? I think that either one of those statements are true. Defense could have done more, but then again, you want to say the offense could have ran the clock out or done what they could have done. They could have. They got a couple more first downs. That's game over. Right. But yeah, Keon White though, love it.
I do too. I just thought of something real quick, just going back to the offense because this just popped in my head. How stupid was that shuffle pass to Ramondre Stevenson? Did you see that?
Dude, I don't
get it. I get it, but like,
listen, I don't know. I've never liked the shuffle pass. I know that it works with the Chiefs, but that's the only team it works with. The Chiefs and like maybe the Ravens here and there. Yeah, I don't.
Anyways,
the offense. Before we talk about overtime, the offense just has to figure out how to maybe close out a game, how to get some chunk plays. And I know chunk plays is like it's like the buzz phrase, you know what I mean? But just like get something, like you have talented players. So like figure out, scheme some players open. Like Alex Van Pelt should be going, maybe not this week because it's a short week. So whatever, just, put in your, easy plays or plays that work. But going into the Niners game, like you got to scheme some shit open because the Niners are a top 5 team in the league. So you have to scheme something. Get Pop Douglas fucking like 6 receptions. Like you said, 7 for 70 something. Fine with that. Also Jalen Polk, first touchdown.
We love that. He's going to be great for years to come.
He is. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, that's why when people are talking about, the Patriots should draft player X or they should maybe sign player X. No. The Patriots right now on offense, definitely they'll add someone as a receiver, but you got Pop Douglas, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker. Fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with that core moving forward. If you want to draft someone in the second, third round, if you want to maybe sign a player, get T. Higgins, get whatever you want to do. That's
and
cool.
You still have Kendrick Bourne coming back.
Oh, Kendrick Bourne is coming back. He's coming back week 5 against the Dolphins.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's a win. I'm not worried about that game. But because I'm thinking he is your outlet. He's your guy. But either way, Jalen Polk touchdown. Great. That's when I thought the Patriots were going to win at that point. But they did not. Overtime came around. Patriots got the ball. Horrendous first drive. I mean, awful. just nothing going on. And then, obviously the Seahawks got the ball, went down and won. What are your thoughts on overtime?
I thought, and I know you're going to disagree with me on this, but I don't care. I thought they should have gone for it on 4th and 1. I do. And the reason why, I know it would have been a short field for Seattle, but the way
Where were they? What yardage were they on? Do you remember?
They were on like their own 39 or something like that. But the thing is, right, if you go for it and you don't get it, you deserve to lose anyway. And look what happened. They punted the ball away, pinned them down inside like the 10-yard line or whatever it was, and they went right down the field and kicked the field goal anyway. So it's like, when you know that a team is driving the ball on you, why not do everything in your power to keep the football? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the thinking behind punting it away. Pin them down, trust your defense. I get it. But your defense wasn't playing the way that you wanted them to play. That's why I'm like, you know what? Take a chance. Like, go for it. Because if you don't get it, you deserve to lose anyway. Like, that's my thinking. And especially, we want to see, like, I know I want to see a little more aggressiveness in those situations. And it's a fact, too. You get the first down, you get a new set of downs, then you drive down. Who knows what happens after that? Maybe you kick a field goal. Okay, whatever, fine. Maybe you go down. Maybe miraculously you get a touchdown. You get a free play. You win the game. But how do you know if you don't take that chance? That's where I'm at. So, again, I'm just going to just rephrase this. I understand why they punted. I do understand it. But I disagree with it. I wanted them to just try to win the game. Try to win it. Go to 2-0, like you said, and then you would have had all the vibes going into the Jets Thursday night game. That's why I wanted them to go for it. But again, totally get why they did it, why they punted. I'm not oblivious to that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think I don't know if I said it when we were texting, but I'll say it now. Like, I would have been happy either way. You punt the ball, great defense. Give them a long field. Hope they don't come down and score, even though they only have to score a field goal. But still, defense, whatever. Defense is kind of, you're looking at it, your defense is better than your offense. Hopefully they can shut down the Seahawks. It didn't work out. But it is also 1 yard. It's also 1 yard. Like you can't sneak it for 1 yard, or you can't, I don't know,
Just
get
let Ramondre
something.
let Ramondre do it. Like
Yeah, yeah. Like
I don't care.
how
Put in Keon White. Let Keon White go get a yard. I
anyone,
don't care. Like
Keon White was
somebody.
playing. See, like, because you see a lot of these teams where I think it, a lot more recently, but these teams where like your fringe teams, like your Patriots or your what a team X, where it's like
Right.
they may be a playoff team, they may not. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go. We're at home. It's 4th and 1. Let's get it. We get momentum. We get the crowd on our side. You would have liked to see him go for it. They didn't, and you can't necessarily fault them for it. Hindsight,
Right.
obviously, you can.
Of course.
Because you hope, and but the thing is, so say that DPI call, that defensive pass interference doesn't get called on Jonathan Jones.
Right.
Maybe they hold the Seahawks. So like it's again, football is a game where that's why you play the game. Anybody can win any day. That's why there's so many what ifs or things that happened where that's why it's tough to feel too bad about the Patriots moving forward, especially since they get the Jets. Is the Jets game at home or is it in New York? Do you remember?
It's in New York. It's in New York this week.
Yeah. Whatever. It is what it is. That might actually be better. Kind of your, away mentality, fucking strap on. Let's go. Let's kick their ass. Get away from New England, come back with a win, whatever. But yeah, like that. Sure. Like you wish they could have got it, but I just wish they would have just got the first down to begin with. Like just kind of uninspired play calling. This is where you miss those Julian Edelman 7-8 yard slants. Things like that. In my eyes, we're play action. You don't want to do play action on 3rd down. Like, why not? Everybody knows you're going to run it on 3rd down. Why not? Quick little play action. You only needed 3, 4, 5 yards, whatever it was. Like, come on, man. I don't know. But again, I think you're seeing the limitations of this offense, and it's still nice because this offense is better than they've been the last couple of years. But like they're almost there, which is why, as much as I like to joke that they're a Super Bowl team, that obviously the offense is holding them back. You know, whether it's play calling, offensive line, quarterback play, whatever you want to call it, the offense is holding them back. But there were just a lot of things that could have happened that could have led to a Patriots win, which is why I'm not completely down on them. Even though in the chat I said the Patriots never going to win another game again this year.
I was very down. I knew you were bullshit.
I threw my phone. Oh, I threw my hat, threw my phone. I was like, fuck this.
You were ridiculous. Even for you,
you were
angry. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I was very angry. So I take these Patriots, and like I told you guys, it's crazy. As a Patriots fan, it's crazy. It sucks, but it's fun to care about games because now it's like, you know what, though? I know a lot of people think we're going to win 5 or 6 games, but if we sneak a few wins in here, we might be able to make some noise. I think that's the part that gets Patriots fans a little bit more annoyed with these losses.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck me. If you're 2-0, you're tied with the Bills to lead in the division. Like, come on, man. Like, fuck. And then you have a game against the Jets. You go up a game against them and you own a win too. Like, I know. Fuck. But yeah, it's just, this game sucked. Losses suck. But moving forward, how many times do you see a blocked field goal? Like,
not very often.
You don't. Like, shit. But either way, like you said, though, you simply cannot give up 33 or 44 for 327 to Geno Smith and not turn him over at all. Like there weren't even any maybe interceptions for Geno Smith. Like there were just good play. DK Metcalf, like he's very good. I think we've seen, and like, I don't want people to think that Christian Gonzalez is not great because he didn't cover Metcalf the whole game. Right. But I do think we've seen, Christian Gonzalez is still a 2nd-year player. Pretty much a rookie. He played a few games. But still, I'm not worried about like the team moving forward. It just sucks that you had an opportunity to be 2-0. But then I look around the league and like I said, like teams like the Cowboys are 1-1. Teams like the Bengals are 0-1. They might be 1-1 if they beat the Chiefs. Like we don't know, it's early in the year. This loss sucks. But what Belichick always say, the first 4 weeks are just an extension of the preseason. And I think as a Patriots fan, you got to be overall thumbs up with what you've seen, right? You kind of have to be.
Yeah, I mean, you're competitive.
Yep.
You're not you're not horrendously bad like you were last year. Like last year, they lost games like 10-6, 6-0.
It wasn't close though.
But they were horrendously bad.
Yeah.
This year, they're fun. The defense is still going to be pretty good. The offense is doing its job, knock on wood. And you're seeing the plan in motion. You're seeing the progress. Again, Jalen Polk catching his first NFL touchdown pass today. Great. Keon White becoming a monster. Drake May is going to get his time. Like the future is very bright as long as they continue to develop and they keep adding pieces and they keep being competitive in games. Because then when free agency comes, maybe you convince a T. Higgins to come here. Maybe, Jamar Chase is having issues in Cincinnati. Maybe Elliott Wolf gets his number one receiver there. Who knows? But it'll draw players to want to come to New England more if they're staying competitive. And if they can, even if they were 7-10 with 4 losses like today, it's like, okay, you have something here. You just need a few more pieces to get over the hump. That's why, yes, fully with you. It's encouraging, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's really what you're looking for. It's a weird place to be as a Patriots fan because you're so used to, whatever, win, all that stuff. But we're a few years away from that. Okay. We're one of those teams that we're now rebuilding currently.
Correct.
But it's kind of lucky because we didn't have to go through a full 5, 6, 7, 8 year shitty window. We had the fun COVID year with Cam Newton. Cool, whatever. We had the good Mac Jones year. We had a shitty year, and now we're here. So like there were a few shitty years here, but I think the Patriots are on the up and up. Yeah, just this game sucks. Sucks that they lost, but like you said, I think the team is showing at the very least they're competitive in these games. That's all you want moving forward. Just be competitive. Don't have any blowouts. There might be a few here and there, like maybe the Niners game, even though I don't think that the Niners game is going to be as blowout worthy as people might think. Especially with Christian McCaffrey being out for that game. But like I said, my goal for this year for the Patriots realistically is at the end of the year for them to be in the hunt graphic with like 4 or 5 weeks left. And I think this loss today does not negate that for me because they didn't get blown out. They didn't look like a team that didn't belong. The offense didn't look like your Mac Jones, Bailey, Zappi offenses. The defense didn't look like your Matt Patricia, bend but don't break, but we broke. It was just, breakdown here and there. DK Metcalf went off. He's a great receiver, big body guy. And then you missed a field goal and then overtime, whatever. Just it is what it is. You're not going to win every game. Tom Brady isn't walking through that door. Bill Belichick isn't walking through that door. It is what it is. So yeah, the Patriots are 1-1. Do you have any thoughts about this game before we move on to the Jets outlook?
Nope. Just build off some good things you did and clean up a few other things and get ready for a big Thursday night matchup, which again, we're going to talk about here.
Yeah, exactly. So the Patriots are playing the Jets, Thursday night football. They have CJ Mosley for the Jets. He got carted off the field. Is that he's hopeful to play on Thursday?
But we'll see.
If you're getting carted off the field, I don't know if you're going to play, how effective you're going to be. I don't know, whatever it is. Jermaine Johnson, also, I guess got hurt today, if I remember correctly. That's who their guy was. I'm going to take a look to make sure that was the right guy. Jets injuries, but yeah, short weeks against division teams. Jermaine Johnson, Achilles injury, so he might not play either. So the Jets might be down two pretty important starters. Division games are always close. They're always a little bit of a mud fuck there. Thursday night games are always crazy too. I guess kind of going into it, what's your outlook for this game? Like, what do you think's going to happen? Don't give win or loss yet. Just what do you think is going to happen?
I think this is going to be competitive. I think it's going to be similar to the first 2 games. I think it's going to be competitive. I think the defense is going to shine in certain spots. I think But I do think there's a Hall of Fame quarterback that's under center for the Jets right now, and that's Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, again, I said this earlier in the podcast, he knows how to read an NFL defense, and you know this better than anybody, Mike. He is the best quarterback in terms of getting defenses to jump off sides and getting free plays out of it. He's the best to do it. So if you're going to have any chance, you have to be disciplined. You got to be smart. You have to go back to playing the way you did more against Cincinnati than against Seattle. That's how you're going to have a chance. But yeah. I mean, also looking the two-headed, and I'm putting this in air quotes, the two-headed monster of Breece Hall and Jarrett Wilson. Breece Hall, I think, has had a little bit of a more explosive start, scoring both weeks for the Jets. Garrett Wilson, I know, had a touchdown too. Obviously, Rodgers' number one target. They got Mike Williams. They have Allen Lazard. Like, they have some veteran receivers too. Their offensive line isn't too bad. Mm-hmm. Tyron Smith on the left side. Elijah Vera Tucker at right guard. So they have pieces in place. The defense, you have Sauce Gardner in the secondary. Just kind of looking again through. CJ Mosley's questionable, like we said. Jermaine Johnson is probably going to be doubtful for that game. Who knows? But we'll see what happens. One thing, too, this Jets team has not played all together for that long. Mm-hmm. So I think that could be a very slight advantage. So I don't know. That's just kind of just first thoughts.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Jets depth chart right now for the receivers. So after Garrett Wilson kind of falls off, Mike Williams is fine, but let's look at it like this. Garrett Wilson, if you put Gonzo on him, Christian Gonzalez, I think that's good. I think you're fine.
Yep.
So Mike Williams, Jonathan Jones, another great guy. You put him on him, big body corner too. Maybe you shadow him a little bit. I don't think that this receiving core, this game strikes me a lot more like the Bengals game, if that makes sense, where it's like you have, even though Breece Hall, good running back, but I think the Patriots run defense is pretty goddamn good. If we're looking at their line is thick, I think that their front line takes pride in the fact that they're going to shut down the other team's running backs, no matter who it is. So you mentioned Aaron Rodgers. I have my thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, but he is still talented. But how talented can you be if Christian Gonzalez is blanketing your number one guy, Jonathan Jones is following your other guy, Marcus Jones is following Lazard? Like, Lazard isn't this great route runner, great juke guy or whatever. Like, their wide receiving core isn't as scary, I put that in quotes, as the Seahawks is. This is more along the lines of a Bengals receiving core where you have Jamar Chase. Garrett Wilson is taking the Jamar Chase role.
Yep.
And you have just a bunch of other guys that maybe can go off here and there. The Jets offensive line, nothing crazy. I don't know. And then Aaron Rodgers too. He's not what he used to be. And don't get me wrong. He is still good. He can still put the ball where he needs it to be. He can still scramble here and there, but I just don't think that the Patriots are going to let him scramble too much. I thought they were going to let that happen with Geno Smith. They really didn't. They kind of contained him a fair amount. So I think this game is going to be real. This game is going to come down to if you can shut down Breece Hall, or make sure that he doesn't go off, for 100 yards or so.
Neutralize him in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whatever yards or whatever he gets isn't the worst. I think the Patriots have a good chance to win this game. Because even though, what did they give up? I wanted to see the Jets Bills box score, because if I remember correctly, what was it? September 11th. That's when they played, right? That was Zach Wilson. Oh my God. I was trying to pull up stats for them and it was fucking, I saw Zach Wilson under the Jets. Do you know where Zach Wilson is right now?
He's with the Broncos.
He is with the Broncos. Crazy, right?
Yeah. It's like him, Stidham, Bo Nix, and,
who's the other guy? Oh God. It's, shit.
I'm trying to think now. I'm drawing a blank. It's Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson. I can't think of the other one. It was a big deal too. Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah, I forget who it is too. But let me just tell you, you know how many yards that This can't be right. It says October 14th. Is that when the Jets and Bills played? Was October 14th?
What?
No,
No,
it can't be. But that's what
no.
it says, though.
When? What are you trying to? What are
I'm
you trying to
trying
look
to pull
for?
up a goddamn box score, Al. Hold on. Week 2 NFL.
Oh
But
my
it
gosh.
says it says everything that we're on.
Well, the Bills played the Dolphins in week 2.
You motherfucker. You motherfucker. You are right.
I know.
Shit.
I was wondering. I'm like,
I'm
Mike.
sitting there looking. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they play them. Okay, here. So no, this actually still helps.
Okay.
So you have the Dolphins, by the way. You said the Bills had like a pretty decent run defense, which they kind of did. Devin, how do you say
A
Miami
chain.
Dolphins?
I just
A
say a
chain
chain.
went 22 for 96. So I think that Ramondre Stevenson can maybe match that. My whole point of looking at this is to say that I think the Patriots will be able to get some yards on the ground. So I think that Ramondre Stevenson will be able to run. I think, like I said, this will be more like a Bengals game. Hopefully Pop Douglas gets some play.
I know.
Jacoby Brissett maybe pushes the ball a little bit. But I see this as a very winnable game for the Patriots. In fact, I'll say it. We'll say win or loss. I think the Patriots are going to win this one.
Okay.
I don't know what the score is going to be. It's not going to be a blowout. It might be
Yeah.
like an 11-point win or some shit like that, 10-point win or whatever. Like on a late score or whatever. But I just this Jets defense, they're going to be down Jermaine. They're going to be down one guy. Then maybe CJ Mosley may or may not play. He got carted off the field. I don't know how effective you're going to be, like I said before. Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to win this one, which would be awesome. You can kind of have a win in hand against a division opponent. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Who do you think is going to win?
So I think what needs to happen, and I'm going to quote a line from someone from WEEI, Megan Ottolini wrote an article after the Patriots Seahawks game, and I like her headline because it's so true. The loss to the Seahawks shows the Patriots need to expand their claustrophobic offense. And I think that's so true. I think that's so true. I think it's a perfect line. Seriously. It's claustrophobic. It's tightly wound. Like, you know what they're to expect. So if you're going to beat the Jets, you're going to have to throw a little bit. You can't just rely on Ramondre and Antonio Gibson. I think it's going to be close. I do think the Jets win this game, though. I'm going to go 2013. I think it's a close game. I think the Patriots hang tough, but I think the Jets just find, like with 3 or 4 minutes left, just they get a touchdown to either Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall or whatever, and the Patriots just can't quite come back. But it's going to be close. It's going to be a competitive game. I will say that.
Yeah, you mentioned Sauce Gardner, obviously great corner. Who does he guard? Who would you say they put him on? Pop Douglas?
Probably Pop, yeah.
Cool. So, like, okay, the Patriots haven't used Pop Douglas at all this year. You know what I mean? So it's like, I guess, like, who's going to cover Hunter Henry? You don't have CJ Mosley or you don't have whatever. Like, I don't know. I just think that no matter who you put, the benefit of having a receiving core with no number one guy is that when you face a team that has a number one corner, whoever that corner guards, it's not like you're shutting down. It's not like the difference between the number one to the number two guy is that different. You know what I mean? It's not like here with Garrett Wilson to Mike Williams or Jamar Chase to whoever the fuck else was on the Bengals. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think that, Sauce Gardner, sure. If you want to put him on Pop Douglas, if you want to try to single cover Pop Douglas, go be my guest. I don't think you're going to succeed that much if the Patriots actually utilize him. But yeah, I think this is going to be an ugly game because it's a Thursday night game. They're never that pretty because, short week teams, whatever. Yeah, I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to make some plays here and there. It is what it is. But I think that the Patriots are going to be up. They'll be up a little late, and then they'll just start to run the clock. I think they're going to.
I hope so.
Stevenson, Gibson, do your thing, whatever. I don't care. The Thursday night games are those types of games where I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit how. Just win the game. I don't care how it looks. I don't care if you look so bad all game and you turn the Jets over at the end and that's how you win. Great. Every player, every coach, everybody says these Thursday night games are like a shortened playbook.
Right.
So we're not going to have any huge judgments on this game, win or loss. But I would still love to see a win. I think that'd be awesome. You beat the Jets in New York. Yeah, I think looking at the list that we had, I had them I have them losing this game. You have them winning, and Liam has them losing this game.
Wow. So I don't know what happened that night.
Dude, things change.
They
Things
do.
change here and there.
Here's a bold take. Christian Gonzalez picked 6 in this game. That's my bold take. The Patriots haven't gotten an interception yet this year.
I could see it because I could see it happening. I can see Aaron Rodgers trying to extend the play, trying to do his let me just do whatever. Then Christian Gonzalez being the guy it might not even be him. I think a pick 6 happens in this game for the Patriots, whether it's, Marcus Jones, who, by the way, has been playing very well at corner.
Agreed.
I can't wait till they have Marcus Jones playing on offense. You haven't even seen that yet. Maybe you break that out for the 49ers game.
Yeah, that might be the game to do it.
Yeah, right. Just a quick little slot, whatever it is. But yeah, so you have the Jets winning this next game. I have the Patriots winning. I will say if the Patriots win, they're 2-1 going against the Niners. I think that's a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then obviously we'll talk about the Niners when that happens. Who knows where they're going to be at, whatever happens. But yeah, I think 1-1 overall. It's a fine thing because I don't think a lot of people had the Patriots winning. Not talking about you and I or whoever.
Just people
I don't think
general.
a lot of people had the Patriots winning against the Bengals.
Right.
They pulled one out. I feel like a lot of people might have had them winning against the Seahawks. They happen to lose. So they're 1-1 going against the Jets in the division game. How do you feel kind of just overall real quick before we get out of here, just looking at the Patriots moving forward? Have they met your expectations? Are they what you thought they were? Have they exceeded them in any way? Have they been below? Where are you with the Patriots 2 weeks in?
They're right about where I expect them. Good defense, subpar offense. One thing I will give them credit for, they're a little more disciplined than I thought they were going to be. Obviously,
a lot more, dude.
They are. I'll give them that. I will give them that.
Yep.
The wide receivers, which I still had questions about, they're performing right where I thought they would, not performing a lot. Ramondre is exceeding my expectations, but overall, though, they're right about where I thought they would be. Middle of the road, they're competing. They'll win a couple. They might lose a good amount of them, but right now, 1-1, I'm fine with that. And if you beat the Jets, then you lose to the 49ers, you're 2-2 after September. I'm good with that. I'll take it.
Yeah, because I think we said these first 4 or 5 weeks are kind of the toughest, and then they have a relatively easy schedule after week 6.
Yeah, it gets
not easy, but it gets easier.
It gets easier.
Yeah, it definitely gets easier. Yeah, I think I'd probably be with you. I think what has kind of exceeded my expectations, though, is this run game. Because we all thought they were going to be good, but they've been kicking ass in the run game. They've been really good. I think what's kind of let me down is actually the receivers a little bit. I thought we were going to see a little bit more. I thought we were going to see just a little bit more passing offense, not a lot, not 300 yards, but just something and this just goes to what I said when we found out that Jacoby Brissett was going to be starting. This is, I guess, I don't know why I thought against myself. This is what you're going to see. A lukewarm offense that's not exciting passing, really. Running, Stevenson, Gibson are good. This offensive line can block for the run, but you're just, they don't have it. And I think if you want to blame Brissett for that, sure. To no fault of his own, because I don't think that we expect him to be this great passer. But yeah, I think this is just what you can expect until Drake May gets in there. Do you think Drake May gets in this year at some point because I don't think the offense has been bad enough.
I'm still going to say yes. I still think he's going to get in at some point.
Yeah. What do you still think? What, first half of the year you think, or you think
I'm starting to think it'll be the second half. I think the second half of the year he'll get in. I think by the Bears game, I think we'll see him in there.
Okay. Yeah. See, I thought, I don't know, because it looked like Brissett was hurt a little bit this game. I was like, shit, I think Drake May might be coming in overtime. Shit, I don't know, because it looked like Brissett kind of got rolled up on his leg or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. It sucks the Patriots lost, but it's fun that these games are competitive now. I am now excited to watch Patriots games each week. It's not like the last couple of years where it's I got to watch because you got to talk about it. But like, nah, like I watch these games hoping for a win and maybe thinking a win might come. And that's all you can expect with a team that's right on the verge of kind of being ready to push forward for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about the Pats or this game overall before we get out of here?
Nope. Just beat the Jets somehow, please.
Yeah. That'd be great, man. If they can beat the Jets, be 2-1. Probably be like second place in the division. Great. Awesome. Whatever. If anybody's looking at that stuff this early, I am. And then yeah, week 4, another big game. Big few games coming up. Wish you won this one, but you didn't. It is what it is. Short week, beat the Jets. Trash game plan, just fucking run and gun. That's it. Just run the ball, play action passes. I want to see a flea flicker. That's my thing going into this game. I want to see a flea flicker. The Patriots have a flea flicker. I think they'll win. But if they don't, they may not. So we'll see. Next week, Liam will be back as well. He'll be back from the Keys. Hopefully, maybe not. Maybe he won't, but I'm hoping he will be. But yeah, other than that, this was Tuck Rule Takes. We will see you next week. I don't know. Do you think, I guess I'll talk to you since you're here. When do you think we're going to record earlier next week? Cause it's a Thursday game. What are you thinking?
Maybe
everybody can
maybe we save it. Maybe we save it for Sunday.
Maybe we save it for Sunday. Do it once we see everything.
Yeah. Give a couple days and then we get it out on the Monday, like you said.
I like and that. Then just kind of see everything that happens so we know what we're talking about. All right. Exactly. Yeah, we might do that. Yeah, I like that. Unless Liam has some crazy viewpoint that he wants to do it earlier.
Which he will. He probably will. So
I'm sure he probably wants to do it before the game. I don't know. Exactly. But yeah, so Tuck Rule Takes episode 147. Al, Mike, no Liam. First loss of the year. Sucks, but 1-1. Sitting fine. Let's go. Jets next week. We're out of here.
Later.